property damage estimates that you receive after property damage are likely to be pretty much the same. See, whenever a homeowner experiences some sort of property damage where a claim needs to be filed, more often than not, the homeowner is going to be tasked with calling various companies and getting more than one quote. The general rule of thumb is 3 or 4 quotes, and essentially the homeowner has to go through this process to find a baseline average number that the insurance company is willing to pay. Now, many homeowners and people assume that there's a lot of competition going on in this process. But the reality is most of these companies are pulling their numbers from the same database. Why is that? It's because as a restoration company, in order to use Xactimate, you have to let Xactimate know exactly where you're at. Based on your address, where you're located, you're given a very specific price list. Now, as a homeowner, when you call these 3 companies, more often than not, you're calling a company that's probably 1 to 5 miles away from you. And because of that radius, those 3 companies, if they're using Xactimate to create your estimate, which many of them are because close to 90% of the restoration companies in the United States use Xactimate, more often than not, you're going to get an estimate that is extremely similar. So there's not really real competition that's happening here. If anything, what's really happening here is the insurance company is trying to find who is the lower price out of the 3 or 4 companies that were called out. What is Xactimate? Xactimate is an estimating software. It is developed by Xactaware Solutions, and it is a subsidiary to V-Risk Analytics, which is a publicly traded company owned by Vanguard Group, BlackRock, and State Street, and then a bunch of other institutional investors. That is essentially what Xactimate is. It is estimating software. In the claims world, whether you're an adjuster or a restoration company, you got to use Xactimate. Now, adjusters are the primary individual who uses Xactimate to create an estimate based on the damage in your home. However, restoration companies started to use it so restoration companies and adjusters could speak the same language.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
See, the thing about Xactimate is a restoration company doesn't really control it. Who controls the pricing in Xactimate? That's a really great question. They will tell you that the pricing is based on independent peer surveys, various supplier data, and then previous data inside Xactimate. So previous estimates that were all created through Xactimate. And based on all of that data collected together, they decide whether price lists should increase or decrease. They claim that there's all these other advanced features that dictate that. However, many people in the industry really speculate whether or not that's actually true. V-Risk evolved from the Insurance Services Office. This was an organization that was developed to create standardization in tools and data when it comes to insurance companies. V-Risk's primary customers are insurance carriers, and that is why the insurance sector uses this software. Thanks for watching this week's video.